Should be officially live.
Welcome to the show. Hey yo, it's going down. I thought you should know. Said I would never quit, so now I'm in control. With every move, it's getting bigger. I'm so fly, so cold, baby. Check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Flock. So cold. Baby, check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. Welcome to the show. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building.
Josh in the house.
Welcome to the show. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. Welcome to the show. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the show. Hey yo, it's going down. I thought you should know. Said I would never quit, so now I'm in control. With every move, it's getting bigger. I'm so fly, so cold, baby. Check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Flock. So cold. Baby, check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. Welcome to the show. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building. Welcome to the show. Hey yo, it's going down. I thought you should know. Said I would never quit, so now I'm in control. With every move, it's getting bigger. I'm so fly, so cold, baby. Check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Flock. So cold. Baby, check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. Welcome to the show. Let's go. Let's go! Welcome to the show! MMA Marks in the building! Welcome to the show! Let's go! Yeah! Let's go! Welcome to the show! MMA Marks in the building! MMA Marks in the building! MMA Marks in the building! Welcome to the show! Let's go! Let's go! Welcome to the show. Hey yo, it's going down. I thought you should know. Said I would never quit, so now I'm in control. With every move, it's getting bigger. I'm so fly, so cold, baby. Check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Flock. So cold. Baby, check my stilo, step in the arena. They love me in the scene. I'm coming with the heat. I run it, I'm the lead. I love it when you put your hands up. MMA Marks in the building, turn the fans up. Welcome to the show. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. MMA Marks in the building. Welcome to the show. Let's go. Let's go! Welcome to the show! MMA Marks in the building! Welcome to the show!
To the show.
Let's go! Yeah!
All right.
Let's go!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. All right, so this is the MMA Marks Podcast. Welcome to the show. We are going to be talking UFC, whatever the fuck happened last week. That was a crazy show. We're going to be talking about UFC Fight Night coming up tomorrow night. That's going to be a crazy fucking showing. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of pro wrestling. And all in all, it's end of the year, man. It's like some of it's kind of lackluster, some of it's kind of like exciting, but I don't know about you, TJ, but for me personally, I just feel like we're in this weird limbo because everybody's changing networks on where they're gonna live stream, so they don't want to put out their best right now because they're waiting to hold for their new network.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at the caliber of the card last week and the caliber of the next card, I think it's like 6 weeks from now, they're both amazing cards. But if you look at the one tomorrow, there's a couple good fights, maybe one or two big names, a couple prospects, but there's nothing really that's it's not as engaging. And for the final card of the year, you would expect them to kind of go with the bang. Especially, I think they have the last couple of years, so I'm kind of surprised. With that being said, usually these cards are the ones that deliver the best. So maybe that's the mindset they're going for. Maybe the matchmakers can see something here that we don't.
Yeah, well, I
Hoping
mean,
for it.
everything that we expected out of UFC 323, we got it, but maybe not the way it was expected. The intensity was there, man. I don't. I think most of y'all probably watched. I know some of y'all watched with us. That's in chat, but like to me, I fell asleep during the main card. All y'all knew I passed out. That was in the Discord with us, but to me, the biggest shocker was Jan fucking beating Marab. I cannot believe that shit, bro. I mean, for
Dude,
me,
he
that's
beat the
every.
brakes off of that motherfucker.
It was and knew both of them, both
Mm-hmm.
both championships, and I thought it was gonna be and still on both championships. I was wrong as shit.
Well, looking at it on paper, like logistically, Marab should have beat Peter. He's already beaten him once, maybe twice. I can't remember off the top. And Van being so young, I mean, it's hard to give Van the credit because it was a freak injury that kind of happened so early in the fight. You can't say, oh, he would have gone this way, would have gone this way. But at the same time, in my opinion, Van dumped him. Pantoja put his arm out. As far as I'm concerned, Van broke that motherfucker's arm 30 seconds into the fight, took that belt home. Now, Peter, on the other hand, um, everything he needed to fix, he fixed perfectly. He had the takedown defense on par, like he did in the first fight, to be fair. But as soon as Marab got him down, he was getting right back up. There was no wasting time. There was no trying to squeeze his way out. It was down and right back up. I can't think of a time where Marab got him down and was able to dominate him on the ground like we all thought he was going to. So whatever Peter did, he fixed his problems.
Yeah, because like now that you're saying that, I actually remember the first fight around in my like I don't know if I said it live or not, if I was even doing the podcast at the time, but I remember thinking Jan was gonna win. I remember thinking Jan had the tools or whatever against even Aljamain Sterling. Peter Yan has at one point seemed like the unbeatable person in the division. He's not
Mm.
back at that status, but at the same time, he's a damn good fighter. Like I don't know if they put him in pound for pound or if he already was. You know, I don't really pay attention to that, but in my pound for pound, he's kind of getting in the. Hey, he's kind of good, man. He's right now. He's one of the best to be able to not only hang with Marab, but to beat him, you got to give the man respect. And for anybody
Well,
not doing that is crazy.
I would even go a step farther than just beating him. I know the scorecards maybe don't reflect it, but anybody who watched that fight can pretty decisively say Peter dominated that fight. Like he pulled a Marab on Marab, just not with the grappling and more of the striking aspect. The body shots were landing. Every jab was hitting the face. It busted Marab open real early. I'm not gonna lie. After the first round was over, I was getting kind of like Tom Aspinall and Serial Gone vibes.
Yeah,
Like
wilted him.
Marab, the dominant, yeah, dude, the dominant factor who is untouchable to some people was busted the fuck open. His nose was running, like it was bad.
Now
Bad for Marab.
I've looked at the replay, and you know some people are calling it a freak accident and stuff, but like, uh, if you can't continue, then okay, then it's just instead of calling it or instead of acting like Joshua. Not saying that Tuckleberry in chat saying this, but like instead of like some people saying like, oh, it's a free win or whatever, it's like it's not his fault, bro, that homie couldn't continue. It's a very early stoppage because technically, if the ref didn't stop it, would Joshua Van won that fight literally
Hmm.
easily? Dude could not continue. So yes, he won. Do you know what I mean? Like he won that fight because
Absolutely.
homie could because if the ref didn't stop him, the homie would have had to fight with a fucking dislocated elbow or whatever. And I
Well,
don't think it would have been good for him.
there's two things to take into consideration. One being when the UFC was first started, and I know you're a big advocate for this, it's kind of like you're throwing two guys into the cage to fight. You're going to see which one walks out. The ref's in there to like make sure you can both walk out. But if that was a fight on the streets and Pantoja busted his arm up like that, he's down an arm. Joshua Van's killing him, for lack of a better way to go about it.
Yeah,
The
straight
second
up.
thing is I've been talking to some wrestlers this past week, going back into work. There's a couple guys from the gym.
When
that
you say
kinda,
wrestlers, what do you mean? Like people that train
like
wrestling or pro wrestlers?
no, people who train like Olympic style wrestling. And I
Gotcha.
asked him, I was like, dude, the few wrestling classes I've taken and like gotten into, the first thing you learn is you don't land on your arm. It's a good way to dislocate your elbow, break an arm, do whatever. And the one guy, he told me, he was like, yeah, that's kind of what you get for that introductory kind of intermediate level. But once you get to that advanced level, there is kind of positions you can go based off of that. The issue is that the risk of that is still there. So it's not like Pantoja didn't know the risk of putting his arm out. He knew that it was a possibility that it could happen, and he still took it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like him as like he was trying to catch himself. Like in the moment, he
Yeah.
panicked or whatever you want to call it. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't on point, and then he made a mistake and he paid for it.
That's it.
I'm not saying Joshua Van should celebrate this win like he knocked him out. By all means, he shouldn't do that. But don't take credit away from this man just because his opponent got injured. That's the same thing
Yep.
when the opposite when Aspinall was fighting what's his name Curtis Blades, and then Aspinall got his knee was injured or whatever. It's like, did we all say that? Actually, we did. Hold on. Did I just make a point for the other way? So yeah, like, because you know what, Aspinall got that back. So that's the question. Do you think Pantoja gets to get back?
Mm, I mean, I like Joshua Van, and okay. I know that it was a 30-second fight, and there's not enough for us to go off of and say this guy's going to win or that guy's going to win. They both looked really good, but I do think Van was starting to look like he just had that upper edge. The speed advantage was there. He was connecting a little bit more than Pantoja was. Again, I know 30 seconds, but I don't know. I think Van can get it done in a rematch, especially he's been in there in that championship style fight. He felt the emotions of the start of the fight, the walkout, the introductory, all that stuff. So I think he'll be a bit more equipped to step into the championship fight in a more calmer kind of vibe. It's just whether or not another thing too to take into account is how badly is that arm injured? Because if it's a thing that's gonna like look at TJ Dillashaw as an example. He had that bad shoulder injury. He came back and fought, I can't remember who, but his shoulder kept popping out of place the entire fight. He had
Yeah,
to pop it back in twice between
Sandhagen, by the
rounds.
way.
Yeah, there you go. So
But
are we going to see a Pantoja like that where his elbow is now compromised for the rest of his career?
see, that's the thing. Like before this fight happened, I was like all for like saying that Pantoja's way better than fucking Van. But the fact that his body's falling apart, and I'm not trying to be funny here, like it happens. Like fighters start getting injured more often. It could be the fact that he's older, man. Joshua Van is one of the youngest champs ever. Like
Mm-hmm.
currently, like of being of the generations, he is the youngest champ technically because I think he was like born in like 2003 or some shit. I don't even know. It's crazy. And yeah, some of us been watching fights longer than that motherfucker's been born, dog. Been alive.
I have to double check it. There might have been a female fighter or somebody I'm forgetting, but I think he's the first
Hell no.
champion born in the 2000s.
I'd say he's definitely the youngest because if there was a young female champ, we would have they would have promoted her. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the beginning I thought, but maybe this is a sign that his body's breaking down. We saw it in Henry Cejudo, who got fucked up, and Dana White, went and told Dana White, I got fucked up. Man, who expected it
Mhm.
like that? Most of us kind of, but at the same time, it just like he got taken down by fucking Peyton Talbot. It's a tongue twister, yo. But made me hate Peyton even more. I literally want to see him get decapitated. Uh, I don't usually side with Aiden Ross on a lot of his shit, but I'm for him fucking giving 50K to the first person to knock that bitch out.
Yeah, I'm with it.
And to quote the Tulsa King, I meant bitch with all due disrespect. And if Peyton Talbot wants to come beat my ass for it, come at me, bro. 5'5", 200 fucking 20 some pounds. Let's get it.
Street beefs.
Oh, so I started reading chat real quick. That was a great Tough lineup he was in. See, I stopped watching Tough after like as soon as they went to the live seasons, it just threw me off, and then ever since then I can't get back into it, even though I try. And really, what some of y'all agree with me that been watching since the fucking season one. Soon as they stopped having to fucking fight to get in the house or get in the fucking show, that's when the show was dumb as shit and it didn't matter. I don't give a fuck. If you ain't got to fight your way into the house, this fucking show means nothing to me. That's why Contender Series is 10 times better. It's already established fighters who deserve a spotlight or, a chance in the spotlight to maybe break out. Contender Series is 10 times better than fucking the current, Tough, the Ultimate Fighter, in my opinion. I don't know how TJ feels, but it's just, to me, it's like the Tough series is dead.
Yeah, pretty much the exact same way, and not even for that reason. When I started getting into Tough, it was already past the fighting into the house. I've watched the old seasons and stuff, and I do like that better. But the more recent seasons in the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years have all been, it's been more focused on the training and the fights itself, which some people enjoy. But honestly, a big reason I watched The Ultimate Fighter from like the old ones was to see the drama in the house, bro. Remember Julian Lane, Let Me Bang? That one dude who got knocked out in the house just for talking shit. Like it created that drama. So when you got to that fight, when it was between the two people who were beefing, it was like, okay, now this fight's got there's momentum behind it. There's a reason for them to be fighting. Like they're gonna go in with some emotion and with some, whatever. It's gonna be a banger of a fight. Now it feels like, I respect you, you respect me. Let's go in there. Let's try to get into the UFC to the next round, and it's cool, it's honorable, but it's not the entertainment factor that the Ultimate Fighter was supposed to have.
Yeah, and, Chad Rampage, shout out to you, brother, friend of the show. He was saying that the first episodes of Tough always felt like, a mini fight night. For me, and my buddies who watched with me, like the people we talked, like Ricky and a few other people back in the day, we all would say that it's actually better than watching a fucking UFC event back in those days,
Mhm.
because people were desperate. This was desperate fucking guys to get to get on a reality show, to get famous, because after the first season, um, they realized that the Ultimate Fighter makes you a UFC more famous than people that's been in the UFC forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like Tough was better than making it the right way.
Hmm.
Really, it was like, get in the Tough house, you'll have fucking money, you'll have fame. And like, just to give a random shout out to a fight that I still remember, and it's the first one I think of whenever I think of the fights to get in the house. Diego Barandal, or whatever his name was, when he fucking threw the flying knee at the dude and just killed. It looked like he killed him, bro. Everybody was scared of that motherfucker after that
Hmm.
night, bro. Everybody in the house was like, I don't want to fight him, dog.
Well, just to add on to that, look at the Uriah Hall spinning kick knockout. Like, dude, that's
Well, that
still
wasn't a
played
fight to get in
everywhere.
the house. That was a fight to stay
No,
in the
you're right. No,
house.
yeah, yeah, true. Crazy ass knockout though.
Hey, welcome in Esports Combat. We need to talk, man. I want to get some fucking league back, man. If anything, we might be able to collab to like do something, like even if it's just like a, uh, a bi-monthly event or something. It don't have to be all the time. I know that shit gets annoying, but we need to get some fucking UFC fun back. And I keep telling these guys that's in the community, man, the only person that can really bring back this shit is my boy Gancho, my bad. I gotta
Hell yeah.
respectfully say it, because I'm asking you to fucking come back, son, in any way, even if it's little by little. So Peter Young. So Joshua Van is a new star. Do you think that he should Well, do you think that he should just move on, or kind of flirt with the idea of giving Pantoja the rematch?
I don't think it's a question whether or not Pantoja is going to get the rematch. I think the UFC as a company are going to give it to him, especially based like if it was a 3-round fight and then Pantoja broke his arm, but Pantoja was losing the entire fight, then maybe not. But it happened so quickly. Neither of them were looking bad in the time that we did have. I think it'll get back. It's more about when can Pantoja get back. I've seen people say he's expected to be out 6 months. I've seen people say he could be out as upwards of 18 if he goes like the steroid route of recovering that way. I think the best thing for Van to do right now is to keep getting that championship experience under his belt. Because his next fight will be Tatsuro Taira in Japan, is what Dana was looking at doing. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But Tatsuro it's definitely the next challenger. Let Van get that fight. If he wins, he's got that experience under his belt in a championship fight. He beat the next up and coming star. Taira is pretty much the next Van, which is crazy to say because Van is still the Van, but like, you know what I mean? He's the next up and comer, the young kid who's supposed to be getting in that title shot and getting that belt and all that.
But how bad was it against Moreno? Did Moreno look bad, or did he look good when he fought him? Because that's
No,
right.
Moreno,
That was when I really like fell off. I was watching that fight, and next thing I know, I'm like waking up, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
no, Moreno looked good. Like Moreno looked like Moreno. Tatsuro Taira just looked better. He was able to get the strikes in better. He was able to get the takedowns. He just looked better than Moreno. Even Moreno was saying in the post fight, he was just saying, yeah, it's he was better than I had expected him to be. He had counters to all of my shit. Like he gave Taira big props.
Okay, well, the last thing on the card for me that I wanted to discuss, or just bring up that I thought was kind of crazy, was the draw. The Jan Blachowicz versus Gusov or some shit. What's his name? Bogdan Guskov. You remember that fight now? That I do remember that fight very, very good. It was kind of one sided, one round, and then uh I don't. It was just crazy. Who got the 10-8 between the two? I don't remember. Was it yeah, it was Guskov or whatever, Guskov. It was Guskov that won 2 rounds, and then Blachowicz won a 10-8 round, or is it the other way around?
I think Guskov won the 10-8 and then Blachowicz got the 2. Because I remember saying when that fight was happening, if this was a 5-round fight, Blachowicz wins for sure. I think
Yeah,
that was the fight I was talking about.
yeah, that fight was insane because
Mhm.
Gus Guskov looked really good and really way more athletic.
Mhm.
But Jan was catching him and stuff, and then Jan just out toughed him, out cardioed him. Really, it's
I
like,
think it was one of those cases of Guskov has got a few good wins under his belt in the last couple. So they're like, all right, you can take on Blachowicz, former champion, put your name in the hat for that next shot. And then I think Guskov was 1 or 2 fights away from being at that caliber. If he had another fight against someone who was just maybe slightly above him or just slightly worse than Jan, he might have been able to beat Blachowicz just with the experience and knowing what to expect. And yeah, like Tuckleberry Finn said, Guskov gassed. So a bit more cardio training, a bit more just work in the gym, a bit more time. I think he would have beat
yeah,
Jan, but
that I don't know, man. I thought Bohovich just kind of got caught a few times because he was slower in a way, but then he adjusted, and he had his moments. I think that uh I think Guskov was ready, and I think no matter how ready Guskov got, it would have kind of been a similar fight. I think Guskov can get the lucky win, but probably not going to. The longer the fight goes, it's a downhill slope.
yeah.
Saying Jan don't lift weights anymore. I didn't hear anything about that. Did you, TJ?
Yeah, I saw something about it. Didn't I think he has some shoulder problems or some like muscle problems. So like the more he lifts, pretty much more sore he gets. He said it got to a point where he couldn't even throw a punch in training because he was just so sore and stuff was hurting, so he has to stop.
Oh yeah, Polish precision, not power. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So, who's your hero of the week? We got a hero of the week, TJ.
I do. It's okay. I know we talked about it sort of already, but my hero is Joshua Van. Reason being, he's young, he got the win, he has the belt, and he's talking his shit, bro. I know he's being respectful for the most part against Pantoja, but there are people coming at him for celebrating the way that he did, for talking the way he is, talking like he's a champ. Well, guess what, motherfucker? He did beat Pantoja. He is the champion, so he
Yeah.
deserves to be able to talk like that. So I love the fuck out of it. The way he's holding himself right now, he understands he got it in a janky way, but guess what? He is the champion. I love it.
Yeah. I guess if we're going that route, I gotta give Peter Yan the fucking hero of the week. For me, Yan did the what everybody thought was not possible. He did the impossible. He went and got his
Yeah.
belt. He got his belt back against fucking the Machine, bro. You know what I mean? It's like fucking good for him, man. It's like it really shows that like most of us counted him out, bro. It shows that no matter how many people count you out, it don't matter as long as you believe in yourself. So it's pretty good. It's pretty cool to see that.
Well, Marab's proven this past year with the 3 title defenses he had that he is the machine. And Jan showed last weekend that he's the mechanic that knows how to fix and break that machine. So
I
it's
like that.
pretty cool. Hell yeah.
Now, who's your a-hole of the week? Don't tell me it's Jan.
No, it's not. It's the opposite, actually. I got
Okay.
Marab's corner. The entire fight in between rounds, they were telling Marab, yeah, you're up, bro. You're up. You got this fight. Um, the broadcast was kind of saying that that's their way of keeping Marab into the fight and keeping him ready and on that pressure. But you got to wonder if they had told him, no, you're down 2 rounds, or you lost that round, or you lost the first round, would he have come out harder? Would he have? We know he has the cardio to come hard. Pause.
Go.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Even Aljo was in the news recently saying that he still believes Marab won the first 3 rounds, which I think, okay, maybe you can make a case for round 1, but Marab was fucked up in that second round.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
like Marab needed a reality check or just like
Yeah,
a slap in the face. Get in there. Go fucking take your belt. Make sure you win
yeah,
your
you're
belt.
losing, bro. Get that back. You're losing.
For me, there was only one a-hole a week. Only one. Everybody else is free. And that's the MMA gods for doing my man Pantoja the way they did, man. And they did that to the fans. They did us like that. Now there's some people mad at how Van won. It's just not fair. So that's my a-hole of the week. The MMA gods, they did it to us.
Oh, fuck a-hole of the week, bro. They might be a-hole of the whole year, dude. Look at what they did all year. How many freak accidents and title fights were there? Whether it's an eye poke or a dick shot or
Yeah,
like
but
whatever.
they hit us hard this week. It was a lot of the fights didn't go the way I expected. Most of them. There was a
Yeah,
few fights in the early or in the prelims that I called to a T, but we all know that that's kind of almost guesswork when we don't know these fighters that well. It's like, yeah, he looked pretty good last time, but who the fuck knows if he can go against this guy or whatever. Like, and
yeah.
sometimes, like we say, sometimes you can even see when it's a setup fight. They want them to win. Any fights stand out to you real heavy on this week's or tomorrow night's card? Any ones that you're real excited for?
There's a couple. The Steve Aspen fight, I actually just realized that he was on the card. I watched his fight on the Contender Series, and that dude's a monster, bro.
Yeah, I
He's
think
got
we
all that
watched that
loose
shit
skin.
together, yo.
Yeah, I think we did. He's got the loose skin. You can tell he used to be a real fat boy, but he's losing his weight and taking it serious. He's got the titties. He's just showing out for all those fat boys out there, you know.
Yeah, that's.
It's cool to see.
I was just telling TJ before we started. TJ over here, I guess. Before we started, that he's my new favorite fighter right now. I hope he fucking wins, man. I'm rooting for him because, like I said, I can't remember what he said. He said something about Fat Boy something. Um, After he won in the Contender Series, so I was like, yeah, fucking, and just his energy. He's like, he does have Fat Boy energy. You know what I mean? I love it.
I'm straight.
Um,
My other one is a fight that just got out to this card this week, and he's actually my underdog as well. Lance Gibson Jr. He's coming over from Bellator. There's been a lot of those guys getting signed from Bellator. He's 9-1 in his career overall. He went 5-1 in Bellator. He's fighting King Green, so it's a good test for him. It's on the main card. He's coming in with a lot of. I think he's got 4 or 5 finishes straight now. So he's got momentum on his side. It's just, can he do it on the big show against someone who's proven to be kind of top of the division in some aspects? I know Bobby's getting a little bit older and he's got some losses under his belt now too, but I think it's a good fight for Lance. I hope Lance can get it done. I believe in him. Knockout round 1, motherfucker.
I truly feel like at this point Bobby should be out of the game, but maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, that fight is. I don't know why he keeps taking fights. I guess he's going against a new young prospect. Really, the last win that fucking Bobby Green has, or whatever his fucking name is, King Green, Bobby King, King Green, whatever. The last one he has is against Jim Miller. You know, and they're all of that era. He's like of the Diego Sanchez era. So it's like he's old school, bro. He's one of the last of the old school in that division. He's turning into Tony Ferguson, brother. This is a Tony Ferguson unraveling right in front of us.
No, 100%.
But
I think he should have been done ever since he had a title shot a couple years ago, I think, or like a deciding to get into the title shot, and he got absolutely mauled. And I think that should have been where he called it quits. I'm sure he got a nice paycheck for that main event fight. Well, he should have just cut it off there.
yeah.
One thing I do want to touch on about that fight, though, now that you reminded me, there was somebody online saying that, fuck, I just lost my train of thought. People online were being like, "Oh, why is Bobby Green taking this fight? Like, it's a losing fight, it's this and that." One thing to remember, it's not just Lance that had to agree to the fight. Bobby had to agree to the fight too. Obviously, he thinks it's a winnable fight. He wouldn't have signed the contract on a week's notice if he didn't. You know, I'm sure there was other guys that were offered that fight to Lance, and they all said no because of the time. Bobby Green said yes, he stepped up. So you can't be putting it all on Lance like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm rooting for Bobby Green. I just don't think he should have taken this fight. I don't think that he should be taking fights. Hopefully, he proves me wrong.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, tomorrow nights, for those you who haven't seen, and welcome in Death Punch and Mr. Aphrodisiac, welcome in. We got Brandon Royval, Royval, however you're supposed to say it, versus Manel Cop, depending on how you say it. I've heard it both ways. But that's the main event. And to be honest with you, not the two biggest names. I get it. They're kind of high up there in the rankings, but it's like, you know, you got a prospect who almost was in Brandon Royval, and then you got the guy who should have been, who came in, was supposed to be something, and keeps missing weight and not performing when he needs to, this and that and the other. So it's like, okay, I guess we're watching those two as the main event is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It seems to be a pattern that they go with the UFC. They'll have a crazy pay-per-view fight or a crazy fight night in a stadium somewhere, and then the week after, it's all lackluster fights on an Apex card.
And then these are the ones that we literally are like, oh my god, these were the most amazing fights because we didn't expect shit from them.
It's kind of, no, you're not wrong. There's been a couple of fights this year in the Apex where like I thought about skipping or I did skip, and the next thing I know, I'm looking at the highlights and they're all, you know, there was a card, I think in the summer sometime, where the first 8 or 9 fights were all finishes and crazy finishes. And I skipped that card because I didn't know anybody on the card. I thought it was a bullshit card.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping tomorrow will deliver, but it's just like, I don't know. I kind of touched on it in the first little bit. The final fight card of the year, the final fight card, I know it's not on ESPN, but it's like, it technically is the final ESPN card under the ESPN deal. So I was expecting more. When I realized that this was the final card, I was kind of disappointed, but I'm hoping that it can come back around. Prove me wrong, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and all in all, this whole card has that vibe. It's like even the fights that are known names, it's kind of like, okay, why is this a matchup? You know what I mean? It all feels this whole card feels a little bit weird. There's probably a little bit of different reasoning behind why the matchmakers did what they did. But for some reason, I don't know if you guys were here, if you guys were here last week or remember this, but I kept saying this is the last card of the fucking year. I thought last week's card was the last card of the year because of this. I didn't even notice this card was a thing. I'm going to be watching, but I just didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When the co-main event is Giga Chikadze at number 15 against an unranked Kevin Vallejos, it kind of tells you everything you need to know about the card. There's no
It,
the fight doesn't matter.
I
It
don't
might get Kevin
understand.
to the top 15, but
Why is Giga still fighting?
I don't
Like,
know. When was
there's
the
a
last
lot
time
of
he fought?
why is Giga why don't they give Giga's opponent? Is it? It's probably not the same weight class. It's probably close. It's probably 145 and 155. But Giga's opponent should be fighting Bobby's opponent, and Bobby and Giga should fight.
Yeah,
Skill,
I'm there with it.
his skills. In my opinion, is like the two new prospects versus
Hmm.
two with a whatever that is.
No, I'm there. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Actually, it's a good idea.
Fighting to stay healthy, dude. I was so high on Giga early, and then he just started sucking, bro. He just sucks, bro.
Yeah,
I hate to
he
say
had that
that, but
Gator fight and it all went down.
yeah, for sure. So, should we just start with the main event just to talk about it, or do you want to like go with live underdog lock of the night?
Did you want to? Do you have any headlines for this week?
Oh, did I skip it? I personally actually don't have headlines. That's probably why I skipped it. I didn't. Have you? I mean, has it like the card's lackluster? Have you seen it? I'm trying to think. We can get into
There's
John
only.
Cena's last match before we get into that.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah. So I don't know who all is wrestling fans in here. A bunch of us are. We see John Cena's having his last match against Gunther, however you say it, Gunther. I know a lot of people are mad about that, but uh, I had a weird, stone thought the other night when I was thinking about it when people were complaining, and I was thinking the people that complain about Gunther getting the last match is almost like a bittersweet moment because it feels very similar to how a lot of fans treated John Cena through his career, saying he's getting the push. They don't know why John Cena's always pushed on us. Same kind of similar to Roman, but I felt like John Cena was a little bit more. People were more annoyed with John Cena. Roman, they just felt like, oh God, I don't know. But the same thing with Gunther. I feel like it's a similar vibe, and that's why it's like almost a good stamp on the career because it's like give it to the guy that everybody hates, but is
Yeah,
also a good guy or whatever.
I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Part of me feels like Gunther's had that push. Everybody understands that Gunther is like he's kind of going down that legend killer Randy Orton kind of path. He
Yeah.
he took Goldberg out in his last match. He's probably going to take Cena out in his last match. He said he wants to tap him out, and that's probably what's going to happen. And I just don't think he needs the win over Cena. I mean, from day one, as soon as Cena announced that he's doing his retirement tour, I think it should have been someone that he's had amazing matches with in the past.
Yeah.
To this day, I still think it should have been Edge or Jericho or even CM Punk. You know what I mean? Gunther, but then there's the other side of me that's like, Cena has said this past year he regrets not giving a lot of the younger talent that push, that like putting them over. Wade Barrett's a big one that comes to mind at the end of that Nexus feud. He said that he insanely regrets not putting Barrett over the way that he should have, and that there's a lot of like kind of pushback on him for that. So maybe he just realizes that Gunther is that next star, and that he wants to put that next star over and just kind of put that nail in the coffin. So at this point, I'm just kind of hoping for a really good match, a really fun match.
I think it should have been Mark
One,
Henry.
I wouldn't even be mad at Mark Henry,
No,
dude.
I'm
To
fucking
be
with you.
honest,
I just said that to be random.
I would. Hey, I'd take Mark Henry over Gunther. At least there's some
Really?
history
Like,
there.
why do you hate Gunther so much?
Um, because I can kind of see the same pattern that they did with Roman. They're making him this unbeatable thing. The main difference is that you can kind of believe Gunther is this unbeatable kind of persona, where with Roman, I think they kind of did that push too late. Gunther came in; he holds the record now for intercontinental reign. He's had the belt the longest, or held the belt the longest. He had that world heavyweight reign, so at least Gunther's got something going for him. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
I
It's just
do hate that they kind of flirted with the rumors of Edge and stuff, and they didn't pay out. Not even like no crossover or whatever like that. So
yeah.
it's weird that they had all them rumors like that, but then nothing happened out of it.
Well, another thing too is I don't know if you've seen this or not, but tomorrow's card, they're all full of exhibitions. So it's like NXT stars who are on the come up fighting WWE stars. Like you got Obafemi fighting Cody Rhodes, the NXT champion against the WWE or former WWE champion. Or is he still champion? I think he's. I don't know. The belt changes
I
hands so much.
I say I'm a little bit out of the loop with the wrestling, but I you know me, I like to watch it whenever you guys put it on for me. I just don't keep
Yeah.
up with it as much as Rampage needs to come in and fill in for TJ when he's not there, streaming the wrestling matches for me. I did see
One
that
thing,
AEW went to HBO, so I might be watching a little bit more watching a little bit more AEW because on my Samsung TV in my room, I can just fucking click on HBO, watch it.
yeah. I think what I think should have happened if there was never going to be that comeback of the Edge or Jericho or like a crazy, old time rivalry opponent, it should have been one of the NXT stars. It should have been Obafemi. It should have been Trick Williams. Fuck, I would have been okay if it was Joe Hendry. These guys are the next up and coming stars. They're not established. I guess that's my big issue with Gunther having it is like Gunther's already established. Gunther's had the world heavyweight belt. He has that record. He's already, like I said, this unbeatable
Yeah,
force.
but
Give
okay,
that
so
opportunity to someone who needs that extra push to come onto the main roster.
your hands are huge.
Thank you.
uh, it's because you were doing, I guess. But in respect to what you said, it's like you're not respecting Cena enough because you're not putting Cena on a big enough pedestal to understand that this is a fucking legend passing the
Yeah,
torch to a guy who's doing well. It's not like a good wrestler giving another good wrestler some rub. It's like I'm leaving the game. I'm one of the biggest wrestlers of all time. Literally up there with Stone Cold and fucking Hulk Hogan in notoriety of name. John Cena is one of the biggest to ever do it. So it's like
yeah.
in that respect, it's like like somebody like Hendry, is he really ready for that kind of rub? No, he's ready for Gunther to give him that rub. You know what I mean? It's
Fair.
like there's a hierarchy here, and Gunther's one of the guys in the line for that, not not most of anybody else.
I like what Rampage said though. I knew about the age thing. I just forgot about it. How much longer does Gunther have in wrestling anyway? He's almost 40. I give him another 5 years max. You don't think that
That's
someone who
then
is a bit
then
longer
that's
in the field?
then who? Then who else would you suggest? But the thing is it's not about the age. It's about um what they've been doing and where their
Yeah,
storyline is. It's like he's a top guy. He's been a top guy. He's been reigning Intercontinental Champion. Like they want to push him, so they're going to do that. Braun Breaker, not. I don't think between the two, Braun Breaker and Gunther, it's like Braun Breaker's got a lot more hype about him right now, but he's still newer than Gunther. You know what I mean? And it seems as though that he's a little bit weaker on the fucking mic skills, if you ask me.
yeah.
Just from
Hardcore.
watching between the two, uh, Evans and Hayes, I barely even know those guys, so I know they're not that well known. You get what I'm saying? It's got to be top guy.
I think it also comes into
I
the
think it
business
has to be a
aspect as well.
Rampage. That's the point I'm trying to make though. Is you saying like how do you make top guys? I think this is supposed to be a legend passing the torch to a top guy already. I don't think that they're trying to put him on a legend status. I believe is what I'm saying. They're trying to make a top guy a legend, not a random guy a top guy.
Let me ask you a question though. Who do you think not necessarily needs the win more, but who do you think would benefit from the win more, Gunther or someone like Braun? Because I think
I would
Gunther
give it
going.
to Dominic Mysterio myself, but I just like
I'm not mad at
Mysterio.
that either.
I like Dominic Mysterio. I've been saying that he deserves to fucking push like anything ever since I've seen him.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad argument either. I
But
think that I just don't think Gunther needs that push. I don't think he needs to be put over the way that he's going to be more than likely going to be tomorrow night. I'm saying it like Cena's going to lose for sure. We don't know that, but I mean, A's being A's and Q's being Q's.
I don't hate that it's like that, but I guess I don't care enough. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying I understand the thought behind it. That's all.
Yeah.
And would I have chose Gunther? Fucking never. But I understand that I like why they want to do it because he's a top guy and make him a legend by passing the torch. But it would be funny if Cena left on a fucking win.
I think I just realized why I hate it as much as I do, and it's not because it's Gunther. I think it's because this has been like leaked or rumored or whatever for months. So I think it's the fact that they let the leak get out. They were aware that the leak got out, and they still kept the storyline the same.
What do you
I think that's the
do?
big thing.
What do you do if out of nowhere they announce tomorrow Gunther's fucking injured and it's a new opponent for fucking Cena? Do you think that it's staged and a last minute change, or do you think he really gets injured?
I think it's I think it's them playing a game with all the people who leaked everything.
Yeah,
Because up to now, it's
and they've been playing games with those guys. Remember that.
have been. Look at what happened at Survivor Series. They were showing the Edge on the Titantron,
Yeah,
showing Stone Cold, and that's all because they found out some dude was streaming it. So they were toying with him. I
yeah.
wouldn't be mad at it.
I think Rampage saying that the whole tour was lackluster and stuff, but I think that it's combat sports in general in this last period of the year just feels like sometimes there's been times where they're like, oh my God, end of the year fight, literally New Year's Eve, you got to be there to see Ronda Rousey fight, this and that and the other. Now it's like, end of the year, who cares? We'll throw a couple fights together, but we're saving a lot of fights for next year.
Yeah.
And I feel like the WWE is kind of doing a similar thing, and like just combat sports in general. It's like everybody's taking a break right now. It feels like.
Yep. I do have one more headline before we go on to the main card.
So,
It's not huge, but it is UFC.
before we move, real
Um,
quick, did you
yeah,
see Samoa Joe's little nod to John Cena? I seen a post about it. I
I did
didn't see it
not.
live. Supposedly, Samoa Joe fucking put the STFU on somebody, and then like did a thing like this on the camera when he put it on, or something
Oh, that's
like that.
cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. A lot of these guys are giving him his props. Like even from like I think it was Edge in one of his not recent matches, but when they announced that he was coming back, he did like an AA and stuff like that. Did the whole salute, the "you can't see me." So even though they're not working together anymore, I think it's cool that they're all giving him the respect that admittedly he deserves. Even in the game,
I truly believe he's as big as like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and stuff like that. I don't think he's as good in my whatever, but it's hard to compare older generation guys to the newer generation. You know,
unpopular opinion, I think he is bigger than just about everybody besides maybe The Rock, and that's only because The Rock has been able to keep himself relevant in the last few years. I think he's already encapsulated Hogan. I think he's above Stone Cold.
for the
He's
younger
like,
generation, but like people above my age might not even barely know John Cena. You know what I mean? But they know Hulk
yeah,
Hogan, they know Ric Flair. You feel me? Like, but now his name is definitely one of the top. And I'm not just saying it because he's retiring. It's been that way. You know,
yeah,
there's a fucking meme, John Cena. Yeah, exactly. Rampage. He gets it. I mean, you get exactly what I mean. Like, I get that Hogan is a lot bigger for the older generations, and people will be like, older generations like Cena's not nearly as big as Hogan because
yeah.
they saw the 80s and when wrestling was real. So Hulk Hogan was the larger than life, real baddest motherfucker on the planet at one point. He was believed to be the baddest motherfucker for a lot of people. He was
Body
the
slamming
John
Andre, bro.
Jones. He was looked at as John Jones. You
Hell
know,
yeah,
it's it was different times, man.
hell yeah.
So what was your other headline? Hit us with it.
So it actually just broke today, like maybe 2 hours before the podcast started. There are rumors circulating. I've been trying to get in contact with people to prove or deny it, and so far nobody's gotten back to me. But from the people I'm hearing it from, it seems pretty credible. UFC Fight Pass are cutting ties with 5 organizations, so they're no longer going to stream their fights. The reason it's so big to me is because two of these organizations are Canadian organizations, and they're the two that affect the people that are around me in my kind of broader circle. Unified MMA, I'll just list them all off, and then I'll go into that after. Unified MMA, Lux MMA, UAE, I think it was Emirate Fight Pass or Fight something, LFA, and Samurai. The biggest shocker was LFA because there's been a lot of people that have come from LFA to go into the UFC, so I don't understand that one. Unified's Canada's biggest promotion. Like when you talk about Canadian MMA, all of these guys are fighting through Unified. They're getting belts and they're coming to the UFC. Like okay, Cody Shavonchek, Michael Malott, Jasmine Jasdovicius all came from Unified. Dana was just at Unified last year looking for a fight, and he himself said it was the most energetic crowd he's ever been in for a regional show. It was the best put together show. The fights were all amazingly matched. So I'm just confused. There are speculations, kind of digging deeper into it, that the UFC are looking to sell off Fight Pass as a streaming organization or a streaming platform altogether. Rumored being ESPN. That's why they're keeping such a good relationship with them and doing the proper send offs and all that. That's not confirmed, but it kind of sounds like they're cutting off the. I don't know if it's the organizations that people aren't watching or if it's. I don't know what it is. I think it's the wrong move. They're going to lose a lot of Canadian subscribers because that's the only spot we could watch Unified and Samurai. So I don't know. Yeah, it's really weird. The UAE and Lux I can get because they're not English. They're not English broadcasts. Lux is broadcasted in Spanish, and UAE is broadcasted in I'm not too sure a Middle Eastern language. And the English dubs absolutely suck. They're delayed and it's just horrible. So I get it. But the other three, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I remember at one point years and years ago, I was subscribed to Fight Pass, but they did some shit where they made it not worth subscribing to anymore either. But I remember like watching fights on fucking Fight Pass and literally being able to like select angles. I could like look at the corner whenever I wanted to, and I think they stopped doing that, and that was like one of the best things I've ever fucking experienced to be able to watch a fight. It was the best way to watch a fight. You could choose different angles that you wanted to watch from different cameras and shit. I wish if they kept that, it'd be worth paying for.
I don't want to say ESPN killed Fight Pass, but in a
But
way they
killed
kind
it.
of did. Yeah. But yeah, that was the only other headline I have for this week. Nothing really crazy happened this week. Nothing too. There was a little bit of a tease of Jake Paul possibly pulling out of the fight with Joshua, but turns out it was just him announcing that he signed a new female boxer. So it was literally nothing. Yeah. Been a slow week for news.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm interested to know if you have a true lock of the night, because that's one that's hard to choose. Now, when I say lock, obviously we're not giving like true betting tips, but it's like, who do you expect to win, and who do you think is the most expected to win? You know, and that's at least that's how I look at this. You know, don't go out and fucking bet $1 million in our name and then say we owe you money.
I don't. There's nobody on this card. The last couple of weeks I've been able to be like, this guy's gonna win. And admittedly, I've been wrong. I thought Marab, and I thought the week before I thought someone I can't remember, but I thought they were for sure gonna win. Tomorrow night's card, it doesn't look as easy to pick from. I did pick Royval just because I feel like he is just a step above Manel. There's the height difference, the reach difference, the stylistic clash. Can Manel get close enough to get that takedown or even just land a shot? I think Royval is probably just going to outbox Manel, take it to the decision. Maybe a TKO, but I see a 5-round striking war with Royval just kind of piecing him up from the distance. But even that, I'm not too sure of because Manel can get it done.
See, for my lock of the night, I was almost thinking maybe Jillian Roberts, right? Or Robertson or whatever her name is. But that's
that's not a bad one.
That's your girl, not your girl, but your girl. I don't know if Bob's listening, so I don't want to start no shit. But we all know that's TJ's girl. And if he didn't pick her as a lock of the night, I don't know if I should. To me, it's like Roberts is usually very well versed wherever the fight goes.
Mhm.
She's usually the one staying in a dominant position if it goes to the grappling. I would say Julian Roberts is probably a lock, but if we're literally talking about locks and shit, it's guaranteed that the women's fight is going to decision. You can lock it in that it's not gonna get finished. And watch that happen. Jillian Roberts, rear naked
No,
choke right
dude,
away.
Jillian Roberts, her career has been funny because the first, like, I don't know, 2 years she was on the roster, she had very mediocre fights. Nobody was really paying attention to her like that. But her last, I want to say, 3 or 4 fights, she's been getting those submission finishes, bro. She's been getting those finishes, so she might get that finish again tomorrow. Admittedly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't even know she was on the card. That's how much this fight card is like
Well, she's on
not affected by
Tapology.
it.
I didn't look everywhere, so there has been discrepancies with me and other people that studied cards before. Yeah, she gets a few finishes, but I feel like
Yeah,
Limos a, is a game opponent. I feel like this is a
oh,
decent matchup here.
she's fighting Amanda Lemos.
Yeah, Lamos, whatever. You know what I meant.
Hey,
Say,
listen, Jillian, if you're listening, I love you. Um, she's probably gonna get her ass whooped tomorrow. I don't think that Amanda is like a fucking goat or anything like that, but there's just levels, and I think Amanda's at that level. Jillian, to me, will always be that kind of mid card gatekeeper. I don't think Jillian will ever make a valid run to the top.
where's this
Prove me
card
wrong
at? Did you
tomorrow.
see?
Apex, I believe.
There's a lot of Canadians on this card. I sided with a lot of Canadians tonight in honor of T.J. Saunders. I
As
was
you should
like,
have.
when it's a toss up and I see a Canadian, we'll go Canadian this time. um, any big underdogs that you noticed or you think that might be underdog that you say, you know what, I would bet on them.
I was I was trying to find the odds through Tapology and stuff, and I couldn't. They didn't have them listed yet, or not Tapology, UFC.com. I didn't look too heavy. The only one I had was Lance Gibson. I'm assuming he's going to be underdog because he's fighting King Green in his debut fight. Um, I don't know for sure, but
He's a
I
slight
think he should be
underdog
able. Yeah, he should be able to get that done
for sure.
with.
For sure, he's the live underdog. I can't believe he's an underdog. Uh, just to give y'all a little bit of stats, King Green is 39 years old, but Lance Gibson's also 30. But there's a 9-year difference, man. And we all know once you hit 30, it's all downhill from there. Um, King has lost 3 out of his last 5 fights. His last win is against Jim fucking Miller. Okay, it's like it's not likely he's gonna win. I don't understand why he's a favorite, and he's taking this on a week's notice. What weight class are they fighting at? What? So he was able to come in at 158. They're not even fighting at a true weight class, so he didn't cut much. So that's another part of the agreement that might help him for not having to cut.
Yeah, I think it was a catch weight at 160. I'm looking right now.
And yeah, so every other dog
Yeah,
rampage, I would say every other dog is not worth touching that you just named, especially Giga. I am so
yeah.
off of Giga, bro. I'm rooting for like a lot of people that I don't think's gonna win. I'm rooting for. Like like I said, I was early. I was early on Giga and early in his career, but he kind of fucking fell off, and there's certain things he did. I'm like, fuck that guy. But I still weirdly have a soft spot in my heart for him, so I want him to win. But do I think he's gonna win? Not a shot in fucking hell. For
For
me,
all the
per
prop bettors out there.
for me personally, I would go with Gibson if you're just looking for a straight underdog to look for. But Lemos is a choice. Um, Lemos, however the fuck you say her name, I keep saying it wrong. But I went with Robertson winning that fight myself personally. I know how Amanda is, but like, does that really bother Jillian like that? That can she overwhelm Jillian? I think Jillian is so game that this is going to be a close match, and I mean, either one could possibly get a finish, but it's me personally. I see this fight going Jillian winning by out positioning Amanda in the fight for most of the fight. And
Yeah.
don't get it wrong, like I shouldn't have to convince TJ here, but I guess I have to. Don't get me wrong, Jillian has some decent striking. I know Amanda is just a little bit of a tougher type, if you will,
Mhm.
kind of. But I don't know. I would stay away from that as well on putting heavy money on, because I feel like that fight could go either way.
I see
I wouldn't
Rampage
say this
talking
is
about that.
a betting fucking card, really. Like,
It's not.
unless there's
It's
like a
surely not.
really like is Neil Magny an underdog? I doubt it. Like, I would say Neil Magny's a pretty good lock,
Yeah. No,
but
I'm not putting any money on this card because I feel that way. If I were to, there's one prop I just realized might be pretty worthwhile. Going back to Gibson, in his last 5 fights, only one fight has made it out of the first round. Um, and he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. His loss came from strikes in the first round. He's got 2 submissions and 1 knockout, and then the decision. So I think Gibson first round or Gibson under 1.5 is a pretty smart bet to go if you're looking for a bet. That's the only thing I would touch with a 10-foot fucking pole on this card. Everything else, it's way too 50-50, or the odds just aren't there in your favor.
so this
I'm not a professional. Don't take my shit as word.
that's how fucking crazy this card is. We got to keep announcing it. Like, yo, do not listen to us. But this guy that's fighting Magny, right? He's from Ukraine. He's a heavy favorite. He fought in Bellator. He's fought in CFC. I'm not too familiar with this guy, but he's got wins against fucking Douglas Lima, and shit. But he, it's not like he's got a perfect record. He has one loss.
Yeah. Against
Say,
more or less a nobody. I mean, the guy he lost was Jason Jackson, 19-6.
and he's not he's not necessarily so much more youthful than Magny. It's 38 versus
Yeah.
32.
That being said, though, Yaroslav Amosov pretty much ran Bellator in his final days. Besides that Jason Jackson fight, so
But so would Magny.
100%, Magny would have ran through the entire division.
That's where it's like, to me, out of all the underdogs, it's, after talking it over, it's Magny's my pick. I maybe I'm crazy, but I think that the only way Magny loses is in the first round. If he makes it out of the first round, it's Magny the rest of the fight.
Yeah, Magny's on a run right now too. Just this year alone, he's submitted Jake Matthews. He's knocked out a good name I can't pronounce. What did he do last year?
The 2 L's he's gotten are against great guys. Michael Morales, top of the division L. Carlos Pratas. He literally is the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers. When we say a gatekeeper is like, is this the Neil Magny of this division? You know what I mean?
Literally.
So it's like, we're gonna find out tomorrow night if this guy's for real from Bellator.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I think I still got Amosov, but that's just ever since Magny did Michael Malott the way that he did, I'll never cheer for Magny again in my life.
That's the exact fight I'm thinking of. Like, he survived that motherfucking fight.
He did,
You know?
and he survived it well, and he came back and got the finish.
I ain't gonna lie, that showed me that he was ready to stay gatekeeper. You know,
Yeah.
as weird as it sounds,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
yeah.
you're like, he's getting up there in age. He's 38 now. He probably was almost 38, or he was in his late 30s. This wasn't that long ago, and it's like, you're thinking like, yeah, maybe he's out of it, especially after he got the shit beat out of him. He came back, you're like, fuck it, man. This man's a goddamn warrior. He's got gladiator spirit, gladiator aura. We didn't know that because no one's really pushed him that heavy to have to, with that much conflict, and he came back and fucking won, man. He earned a lot of respect from a lot of fans that night. But yeah, I don't know, like, any other fights you want to bring up? Like obviously we're rooting for Saggy Tits. He's the one I'm rooting for the most tomorrow night. What's his name again? Aspinall?
Steve Asplin.
Yeah. Y'all better watch that fight. That's fat boy energy right there. He's gonna be knocking. That fight ain't leaving the first round probably because this other guy seems like a fucking banger too. He's 4-1. He lost to Junior Tafa. This is a setup fight for my fat boy, and if I ever seen one.
Oh, one thing too, I'm kind of just looking over the looking over the card because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't fully prepare for it.
Right?
Royval and Cape are supposed to fight twice this year, and both times it got pulled. So they've been preparing for each other since March, so probably since December of last year. So they've both had a year of kind of knowing their opponent, which might change things. I doubt it, but Morgan Sherrier is on this card against Costa, the guy with the skin condition. That'll be a good fight. Morgan Sherrier, the French guy, he's got a couple finishes under his belt in his last couple ones.
So
Yeah, other than that,
so
not too much.
so you got Royval winning how?
Either a decision or a TKO. I don't think he's gonna knock out Cape, and I don't think he's gonna. I know he's not gonna submit Cape. I see him outboxing him from the distance, just kind of getting those combinations in and getting out of the pocket before Cape can throw those shots back. And because of that, Cape might go down and the ground and pound finishes there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Either a sloppy TKO or a perfect striking domination, like boxing showcase decision.
And welcome in Langosaurus. That's an OG around here. Death Punch was in here earlier. We got all kinds of people from back in the day popping in here. Like that's when I fell in love with him, bro. When I was like, he got fat boy energy, and then he called himself titties and all the shit he was doing. I'm like, he's my favorite. He's my new favorite fighter until he gives me a reason not to be. Like he until he loses, he's probably gonna. I'm just gonna root for him always. For
Yeah, I
me,
think he said in the interview.
oh, go ahead.
It was fat boy power, right? I think that's what he said. He had that
Well,
fat
yeah, I
boy
mean,
power. Or fat
everything
boy
about
strength.
that guy, his whole energy is like he's speaking for my people. and
You want to take a guess at how much he weighed before he started training? Sorry to cut you off.
no,
Just
you're
take a
good.
guess.
412 pounds.
More.
Damn.
He was pushing 500. I think he was just over 500 pounds, which is crazy to see him go from literally on
He's
your
also a
deathbed.
big guy though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how tall is he? He's like 6'7". I don't know how tall he is. Just making shit up. Just to give you a little rundown of how I see the fight going for the main event. I don't know if I don't think I spoke on this yet. He's 6'5", so yeah, he's a tall guy anyway. Me personally, I went back and forth on this fight on the main event, and I kind of see it almost. It's like for the flyweight division, this is as close as you can get to that traditional matchup of a striker versus grappler, because
Yep.
flyweights are so well versed and most aspects. It's very rare that we see that. But if this fight stays on the feet, it's Manel all day, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck that Brandon Royval's got him by a couple inches on height and everything. I mean, the knees might come. He's got good knees. Brandon Royval's got some knees. But the thing is where Royval's going to flourish is the fucking grappling. That's where he's going to be having the advantage. So it's going to be a true, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Like when they roll, it might be different. When they strike, it might be different. But I imagine that Manel Cape has the advantage in the feet, and Brandon Royval's going to have the advantage on the grappling. Normally, I side with the grappler, but momentum and just like thinking about their careers, like I was saying earlier, how I was comparing it. I'm like, Royval kind of reached the height of his talent. He reached the peak of his career, I believe. And now he's like a gatekeeper for that division of who's going to get a title shot or who deserves a title shot. Might have changed with Pantoja losing, by the way. This always changes up the division and who's who. But Manel Cape, he, like I said, he's the guy that was supposed to be the champ. He came in, he was supposed to be the star boy, you know, for real. Like there was hype behind his name. He was doing some shit, but kept missing weight and doing other things. So it's like he's supposed to win, in my opinion. So I picked him when they win by decision. Huh?
Where do you think Manel has the striking advantage? Is it the speed? Is it the just accuracy?
Yeah,
I'm trying to piece apart your brain a little bit.
Like I could be wrong, but I just think technically, like I think like the way they move, the way they strike, I feel like Mano is a lot more technical striker. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's closer than what I seen, but the way I look at it is like I know Royval like sometimes considers himself a kickboxer, but like I feel like Mano is way more intense of a striker. He goes after it, you know?
Yeah, I'll agree with you there
Who's
for
going to
sure.
be the more aggressive guy? Mano.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
No,
but
I agree.
I really believe that's how it is. Who's going to come in with the more intense striking? Mano. You know, Royval's gonna come a little bit calmer, I believe. I think Mano looks for the flashy shots. Maybe it's not maybe it's not a skill difference like I see it, but I truly think because of his style, there is an advantage. But I'm not disrespecting Brandon Royval's skills when it comes to his striking, but I guess stylistically, I think he's a better striker. So
For me, there
I'll word
might
it
have
like
been.
that for you, since it felt like you thought I was being a little too hard on Royval.
I think that there's just this kind of cloud that is over top of Cape's career, whether it's like you said, the weight missing or just the behind the scenes bullshit. Everything that he just can't keep himself out of other people's bullshit. Like calling out Cara France the way he did when that wasn't his opponent, or all the background stuff with whatever his name is, the guy who got cut, Magomed something. So I think there's just that
I
cloud that's like that overcapsulates his actual skill in my head.
I know exactly how to word what we're trying to word.
Mm.
He came to the UFC and he was supposed to have Conor, Sean O'Malley aura. He wants to have that. He just doesn't. He's supposed
Yeah,
to be a fucking, the guy that's whipping ass and then putting a stamp on it, doing it with style and this and that. He just isn't doing it. But that's what he's supposed to be. That's his gimmick,
yeah.
if you will.
No, 100%. And he keeps the attitude strong with it too.
Yeah. Royval has only Royval, I guess, because I think that's how he says it, or whatever. Has only lost to Pantoja and Van in the last 8 fights, including beating Terra and more. Believe me, I love Royval, but he just I don't know how to explain it. You see, his attitude, it seems off. If he wins, I'm not upset. I'm still rooting for both of them. This is a fight that I don't have a real hat in the match. I like both of them. I don't love both. Like you know what I mean. Like they're both cool. I can get behind both of them. But do I care about either one right now? No. They don't give me a reason to care. Like Royval, he went up to the heavyweight. I mean heavyweight. He went up to the champ, fought the champ, lost. I think he might have. Did he fight fucking Pantoja twice, or was that other people? Pantoja don't beat everybody twice in the division. It's crazy, you know.
100%.
And and and,
I
and
think
Manel when he lost to Pantoja, he lost to Pantoja. You know, it's like Joshua Van really is that motherfucker, I guess.
hey bro, like I said, he broke fucking Pantoja's arm. I'ma live by that. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah. Well, what was the other fights we were bringing up? I definitely got Teddy's winning.
Yeah, I got titties.
I got Giga losing fucking terribly. Probably a decision or something though, because I don't know. Does Giga really get finished? Who knows?
I don't give a fuck about that fight, so I don't like. I'll watch it, but I don't really care if either guy wins or loses. I don't know enough about Vallejos to say he's gonna win for sure. And I don't know enough about how Giga's head is now. He's been weird ever since he lost to Cater. Yeah, he's just not performing the same way he was before that fight.
So when you were talking about Cherie versus Costa, right? It's like
Mhm.
I looked at fight. I looked at that fight a lot because I didn't know these guys, but they seemed kind of familiar. And I find it hilarious that homie Costa, his nickname's the Dalmatian because he's got vitiligo, the pigment disease. So
Yeah,
that's funny as hell. But when I analyze this fight, because like I said, I didn't really even remember these fighters at all. Uh, resume for resume, I have to give the nod to Costa. I think Costa has the better resume. So if you're asking my opinion, just based off of that, it's like, hey, they both have okay records, 24-7, 21-11. You know what I mean? Like they both do some, but who has the better wins? Costa. Yeah.
That's fair. I think I'm just on that share your hype train right now. The finish over Nate Landwehr kind of put me onto that. I'm looking at his resume now.
Yeah, but
Sherrier is not who I thought he was, bro. I thought he was like this new prospect. He's been fighting since 23. He's lost against Chepe Mariscal
and also
and Nathaniel Wood.
think about this. Who the fuck is Nate Landwehr? I know who he is. That's
Yeah,
me being
yeah.
hypothetical, but like, who the fuck is he? Is he a good name to have as someone you beat? I mean, I guess, but like, it's Nate
Some
Landwehr.
someone you beat, not necessarily, but someone you finished. Because the whole
He
thing
did
with Nate
finish him,
Landwehr
but
is, yeah. But then so did Choi the fight right before. So is that just Landwehr's chin kind of showing the effects of being punched that much the last few
yeah.
years?
Well, we know Landwehr likes to fucking brawl, man.
Hmm.
He's a fun fight to watch, but it ain't like he's gonna world beater out there. He gets clipped. He gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
He reminds me of what the fuck his name is that had the damage on the tattoo on his chest. What the fuck was his name?
Um,
He was the original
Darren
Nate
Elkins.
Landwehr. Darren Elkins, the
Darren Elkins.
original Nate Landwehr.
Mm-hmm. They're the same person to me.
Yeah. They call him
Hey,
Nate
don't even bring up Drew Dober, bro. Fuck that guy. Fuck Drew Dober. That bullshit he pulled against Kyle Prepelic, he's
he's
a piece of shit.
he's definitely not Drew Dober, too. Drew Dober's better than fucking Nate Landwehr by far. And he doesn't have Drew Dober's power. But Nate Landwehr, I heard they call him the Train. What is his
Nate
nickname?
the Train. That is, I think it's Nate the Train Landwehr.
Is that why you said he fucked up Matt Hughes? Because I was trying to just make a joke off of that, but maybe that was like a low key joke that I didn't realize it was a subtle joke.
Don't worry, Swayze. I got it. I got it.
Dude, I saw that and it was like, did he actually fight Matt Hughes? And I'm like, it's like the timeline don't add up, but maybe he did get a random fight with him. That's funny as hell, you bastard. You hit me with. He always hits me with those subtle jokes. This time I was in the same wavelength, just wasn't realizing he was already there. I'll give you that. He definitely does, but he's not as good as Dober. I think if Dober fought him, Dober beat the piss out of him, dog. I think Dober knocks him out round one. Just that's all I mean. Like I think it's that serious. If they was a fight, I think Dober knocks him out. Now, what about the before we move on? Because I mean, we've talked about most of these fights that ain't even none of us really care about. I guess the last one I want to just ask your opinion on, TJ. This Kennedy, the African Savage, does he get it done this weekend against this dude who's coming in from fucking one championship and then taking an L from fucking Boudet in his debut?
Uh, yeah, just off of experience alone, 14-6 versus 5-2. I've said it on the podcast. I've said it to you behind the scenes. To me, if it's a fight where it feels like it should be 50-50, I'm taking the side of experience every time.
Well,
Especially coming over from one. Not to say one doesn't have good competitors, but it's a different rule set. There's different like you can't cut weight the same way you can in UFC. There's like the rehydration clause. I don't know. I
yeah, but
got Kennedy by knockout.
he's in the heavyweight division. He probably doesn't have to cut.
Yeah, but even still, like if so let's say in heavyweight you weigh in at 245. They're still gonna weigh you in the next morning, and if you're over that, I think it's a 30% threshold, you're still not able to fight.
Yeah.
So you still like it's a whole different process of getting ready for the fight.
Well, I picked Kennedy to win,
Yeah.
but I'm nervous because I don't know this guy like that, and I kind of think I've never been big on Kennedy. I kind of always weirdly hate him. I can't remember what originally made me hate him, but he for me, the way I was looking at it is like he kind of does bad when he goes against like guys that are thinner than him. I don't know how I didn't see the matchup like them square off, but it's like anytime he goes against like pudgier guys, Kennedy fucking kills him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He dominates. So if this guy's in a fit shape, he might just take the L. That's all I'm trying to say. There might be something there to that. Kennedy does not well against guys that are fitter than him. He even lost to OSP, by the way. Like, like
Yeah.
not even a true heavyweight. OSP is a fucking light heavyweight that went up a couple of fights. Like, bro, Vince St. Peru. In case you didn't know who OSP was, by the way, chat. The guy who was who everybody literally called just a tune-up fight for fucking Jones when he came back at one point.
The one thing I will say when I was looking through this card, the Kennedy fight was the one fight where I was like, oh, I kind of want to see that. So I think if there's a fight to watch tomorrow, that's probably the one. I wouldn't say a knockout's guaranteed, but it should be a slugfest unless Kennedy decides to hold against the cage again. But I don't see that happening.
I think out of all the fights other than the women's fight, that's the snooze fest of the night. I believe that that's going to be the fat heavyweights, even though neither one's like that fat looking. I think it's going to
Yeah.
feel like a fat, slow heavyweight fight. I think the other fight with the fat boy is going to be way more intense. I'll be surprised if it leads the first round. Kennedy win by decision, probably, in my opinion.
Hell yeah. I just
Fuck.
haven't seen enough from the other two.
But that's my hate towards Kennedy coming out. That's why I'm
Yeah.
coming at you a little bit. 'Cause fuck Kennedy. It's not going to be a good fight. All right. I mean, what we got here? What we got? What ifs and shit? Because we went over way too many fights. I'm not mad about it, but like this fight card did not deserve the amount of time we put at this. It's good. I hope that it's a good card because I don't expect it to be. It's
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't even know this fight was coming up until because like I said, I thought that was the last card of the year because they were saying it's the last pay-per-view of the year. I got mixed
Yeah.
up. But I ain't mad that I missed this. Or you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, cool, extra fights. Now it just feels extra.
Yeah.
Um
It's like the bonus features on a DVD.
do we want to get into some what ifs here? Do we want to talk about what if Pantoja didn't break his arm, how the fight would go? Or not break his arm, but whatever you want to call that. Pop his shit out the socket.
Yeah, we can. And I think that Van would have fucking dominated the fight. It would have been Peter Yan versus Marab, bro. Van would have toyed him.
There was definitely something in the air, or not last night, but last fight card that made a lot of unlikely outcomes happen or unexpected. A lot of unexpected outcomes happened.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I was most shocked with Moreno, actually, other than Jan. But not to get off topic, but I personally think Pantoja would have turned it around, ended up getting a good sub on him. We haven't seen Van's grappling enough to see if he can really roll with somebody and hang with somebody like Pantoja. You know, Pantoja sinks it in quick.
Very quick and strong. Like if he's got you wrapped around the neck, you're feeling it. Even if you're not getting choked out, you're feeling the pressure.
And that's why I believe that the rematch is not going to happen anytime soon, if at all.
Do you think Van will dodge it, or do you just think that
no? I think the UFC does not want it. I think that the UFC likes the idea of a young champ who likes to talk his shit, speaks English. You know what I mean? Like I guess Pantoja kind of does, but doesn't. You know, he doesn't really. I feel like they're gonna. I think Jan. I think Van is gonna embrace being a champion a lot better for the UFC's promotion value. I think that they see him as a more valuable champion.
Oh, I 100% I agree. It's kind of like last week we were talking about the flyweight division and just how it kind of has that stale feeling to it. And I think if there's a person to turn it around and bring some life back to it, assuming there was ever life in it, it's going to be Joshua Van. He's fun to listen to talk. He's got that little bit of shit talking, but he's still respectful. And he's knocking motherfuckers out consistently. And that's it's not impossible to see in the flyweight division, but it's definitely not the most common. So I don't disagree. One thing though, I do have a what if. I guess it can kind of sort of tie into headlines, but no, nothing's confirmed. Ngannou's come out this last week and said that he regrets the way that the whole UFC and situation kind of went down, and said that next year his contract with PFL is up and is kind of hoping to get back into the UFC's good graces. So I guess kind of tying into that, what if Francis Ngannou gets back into the UFC? Do you think that the money's gone to his head and that he's no longer this freak knockout artist going to put all of it into it, or do you think he's going to come back and be the Francis we all knew and loved?
Did you see what the statements that Dana's been making about Francis?
Not recently. I did see the one about him accusing him of like putting hands on him and shit, though.
Yeah, and putting hands on fucking, I think, Hunter Campbell as well. That same interaction, and the way that Dana talks, it feels like as long as Dana's involved, it's a no go because somebody put your hands on you, you can't trust that motherfucker.
But also, how often has Dana just kind of spewed shit? Don't get me wrong, I don't hate Dana, but there's been time after time where he just kind of says shit to say shit to put it out there. I did see Ngannou say,
I
like,
don't
if
think
this
that
really
he would
happened,
attack the man like that though, because that's really attacking his character and making him look like a bad person. So him
but
doing that
all he's
would
been doing
would
is
fuck him
attacking
if
character.
who?
From the get-go, Dana's all Dana's been doing is attacking Francis's character, saying that he was never about it, he never wanted to do this, he never wanted to do that. Francis is a piece of shit from day one. Well, I guess from day zero, whenever he fucking let him go. Francis did let out an apology, though. He did say that he was sorry things went the way that it did. Whether Dana has accepted it or even acknowledged it, I don't know. But it's weird because the way the whole thing fell apart, it kind of felt like Francis was done, and that because that deal can't be made, Francis doesn't give a fuck about the UFC. But now it's like a 180 flip, and Francis is trying to get back in the good graces. He's apologizing. It's really weird.
Yeah, well, I like how Rampage kind of puts out there, and for those of you not realizing, we're talking about Rampage in chat, not Rampage Jackson. He puts out there that Vince let Bret Hart back after getting knocked out. Yeah, but in the pro wrestling world, it's not like it doesn't count. It's not reality. It is, but it isn't. Dana White is not Vince McMahon, and he's not having to deal with people fighting in the back room and
Mhm.
doing politics. If there's any fights going on in the back room that needs to be brought to his attention, I guarantee police are getting involved and everything else. Like Dana encouraged the fighters to press charges when other fighters attacked them after, or not in a sanctioned fight. So it's like
Yeah.
Dana White's completely against any violence outside of a sanctioned fight. So I don't think that it's gonna be a Vince McMahon situation. I think that he's gonna hold fucking strong on that one. My guess. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the money's good enough to where they tell Dana, "Fuck off. We want Francis." The
But
people, because
that's what I was
Dana
going to
White's
bring
not
up.
the last say anymore. He's
Hmm.
just he's just the front man. He's what is he like? Basically the Teddy Long or something at this point or something.
Yeah, he's the poster boy of the organization. He does have, like, his words hold weight, but at the same time, if the TKO group wants something done, Dana's kind of got to bow down.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying, Rampage, with Vince and how you're saying they're similar, this and that and the other. But like Vince was part of the pro wrestling world and part of the politics within it. So in a way, he felt like he had a beef with me. He punched me. It's over. Dana White would not feel that way. He would literally have that person arrested and press charges. Guarantee. There's no
Yeah,
walk.
100%.
I don't care if Dana White screwed the guy over with big money. If he gets punched out by any of the fighters in UFC organization, they're gonna fucking arrest him and press charges. It's not the same as pro wrestling. I love the comparison, but if we're keeping it real, definitely doesn't work like that in the real world. That's the pro wrestling world. It's just it's the real world, but it's just really not the real world.
Vince also had this like business first mindset where Dana clearly does not have that. And I'm not saying that in the sense of Dana doesn't give a fuck about the UFC and the business aspect of things. It's like Vince didn't care if you spit in his face, knocked him the fuck out, trashed his car, whatever. If you're gonna bring in money and put it into his pockets and put more eyes on his product, he'll put you right back in there. And that's kind of what happened with Brett. He realized people wanted Brett back. Brett would bring in the ticket sales. Brett would bring in the pay-per-view buys, and he was willing to put that to the wayside. Dana's got way too much of an ego even if, let's assume that the whole hands-on thing is real, right? Dana has way too big of an ego to be like, yeah, it's, it is what it is. It's the past. No, Dana's going to hold on to that, and he's going to use that against Francis every opportunity he gets. If there is a TKO group meeting where Dana has an opinion on whether or not Francis gets to come back, that's what he's bringing up. He put his hands on me. He put his hands on Hunter. He's he's a spark waiting to explode. Yeah, yeah.
We don't. He's a risk if we hire him. He'd be
and Dana didn't wear a do-rag. I'm sorry, that was too funny for me to not.
But just because I feel like I went a little hard about the comparison, I actually love the comparison. There's multiple times in interviews where you hear Dana White saying that he looks up to Vince. He is inspired by Vince, the way he handles business and stuff. So it's like the comparative two is definitely not crazy. Just in this situation of violence, I feel like very different. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what if Vincent McMahon was, since we can go random with it, what if Vince McMahon was literally Dana White? Like, meaning he was the one that put up the money and did UFC back in the day. Do you think that the UFC would be bigger, smaller, part of WWE?
I'm gonna say bigger, just because Vince has a really good eye for the entertainment value in things. Like, assuming that the UFC is still the UFC and all the fights are very real, I feel like it would be a lot more like Pride, where they did the opening and all the fighters would come out on the stage. They got the drums playing. Like, there'd be a lot more entertainment value. Cooler walkouts, like the Israel. Look, remember when Izzy did that fucking dancing walkout, or Ortega had the purge? There'd be a lot more of that. So bigger, I think.
Yeah, and my little input for that, because I agree with all that, but I will say that a lot more circus fights probably expected, meaning like weird size differences, stuff like that. Shane wanted to buy fucking everything, bro.
If Vince was running it, we might have seen John Jones versus Mighty Mouse just to see who the real GOAT is. Like, the whole pound for pound list would have been a real thing. Like, you're the champion of your division. Go be champion of pound for pound. Beat this guy.
If Vince McMahon owned it, it would probably change the whole fucking roster. It probably wouldn't even be the same guys. It wouldn't even be the same guys who were inspired to be UFC fighters, because it would appeal to a different type of fan. There's some people that were inspired by just like Lyoto Machida and barely knew anything about him, but he was an Asian Brazilian who fucking was really good at karate and kind of didn't talk too much shit, was very subtle about everything. Fucking Vince McMahon probably would not have had that. He would have had him doing like he did Funaki and all of them. Indeed. Even if he made it to the UFC fucking caliber, Vince McMahon would have made a mockery of people like fucking Machida and all that. I feel. And they would have had to lean into the gimmicks and shit, bro. Colby would have flourished.
Yeah, 100%. We might have seen a Kurt Angle UFC run, dude.
Definitely would have seen a Kurt Angle run. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle would have been huge. We would have seen that fight a couple times. Yeah, and it would have been a lot more bigger guys. We would have seen a lot more heavyweight division would have been the main thing.
There's some breaking news. It's not a huge fight, but I know it's one of the guys you fuck with just announced. March 7th, Brian Ortega versus Money Moicano on the main card of that fight. Instant, what's your first reaction? Who you got winning
that? On paper, Ortega should win, but I truly feel like Moicano will probably win that one, just because Ortega has lost his step. He lost a step, and he just hasn't been the same. Moicano is not the greatest, but he hasn't lost a step really. You know what I mean? Like, I guess he's kind
Yeah.
of older, but he's still performing as good as he's always performed.
Do you think that Moicano had learned from the first fight? I don't know if you remember. Ortega tapped him out in, I think, the second or third round.
I didn't remember that they
Good
fought
first
before.
round, though. Yeah, this is their second fight.
What?
I
How
think
long ago did
Ortega
they
got
fight?
oh, oh shit, 2017.
Yeah, that's
So like
hella long ago.
Peak Ortega, and coming up Moicano.
Yeah, but okay, so the craziest thing about that is Moicano, his his forte, his specialty is his grappling, and obviously Ortega has his number. You
You ain't
mean
lying, bro. You
UFC?
ain't
You mean
lying.
UFC 3? And yeah, like Ortega he's kind of like at that point where it wouldn't be it wouldn't be shocking if he did retire.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
because
on a pay-per-view. It could be his final like hoorah fight. Get that last good paycheck.
where Ortega is in his career is kind of where I feel Royval might end up soon. That's what I mean where I say like he's reached his peak.
Hmm.
Can he bounce back from it? Maybe. He kind of has done well, but so did Ortega. Ortega looked fucking amazing against fucking Zombie. You know what I mean? But then kind of fell off. You know, it's just like a lot of weird things with Ortega. Who do you got?
No, you ain't lying. It kind of the same answer as you. I feel like Ortega should win, but it's not out of the realm of possibility for Marcano to get it done. What was Ortega's last fight? I know it's not the Volk fight, right? He's definitely
Mm,
fought since then.
I don't know. I don't remember the last performance he looked good in. The first thing comes to
Hmm.
mind is Zombie, dude. I'm gonna look it up. Brian
While you're
Ortega.
doing that, just to speak on Ortega a little bit, bro, this guy has been screwed out of so many times. Like, not screwed out of, but there's been two fights. No, one fight. That Holloway fight was never close. But if anybody else besides Volkanovski was in that guillotine with as tight as it would have been, Ortega is your champion. So I kind of feel bad for him in the sense of like he's had two fights where he could have won, and then some shit happens and he just looks horrible.
Okay, so he he lost two fights in a row. He lost to Diego Lopez decision, and he lost a decision to Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, Moicano gets it done. Moicano might sub him, dude.
I can't see that, but it would be tight. And is Moicano striking good enough to keep up with Ortega?
Mm, I think I give the striking edge to Moicano.
I
Like
don't.
even at a baseline. No?
Not at all.
Fair play. I don't
Uh,
think I can ever give Ortega any striking props after the Holloway fight. I don't give a
li-
fuck.
literally, the fight directly after the Holloway fight was his best striking performance, and that was when he changed up everything. You remember when he went against Korean Zombie? He fought
Not off
hella
not
differently. Like he came like almost Muay Thai style. He was kicking the fuck out of Korean Zombie.
I'm gonna have to go rewatch that one.
Yeah, that
I
was a good
remember him
fight.
winning, but
No, it was he fought hella different than he ever fought. I don't think I've seen him fight like that since in the striking. So I mean, the fact that he has that in his back pocket is like, yeah, he could definitely fuck up Moicano. Moicano striking is kind of who have you
hey
seen him
man,
strike good against?
Islam Makhachev.
Hell no. Yeah, like I can't see that man. I can't see that man out striking the same man that beat the fuck out of Korean Zombie.
Yeah, but that's if that same man shows up. if I'm remembering the Lopez fight correctly, no, Ortega did have a couple moments in that fight. He never was gonna win that fight, but he had a couple moments. Yeah, you might be right. I still give it to Moicano though, kind of for the same reasons. I think Ortega. You've convinced me. Ortega's on his way out.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy to think about that. Money Moicano has a fucking doctor stoppage victory against BSD, Benoit Saint Denis, and let's not forget about like when he goes against heavy strikers, he wins. Like he beat Jalen Turner, he beat Drew Dober, Brad Riddell. I mean, Brad Riddell is Brad Riddell, but I think he had a little hype around that time. You know, that was like he had Moicano had a decent run in them 4 fights. This is this is another one. Can he turn it around his career? Both of them kind of not looking good, but that can't be the main event. They're both on
No,
hella L's.
no, it's not the main, but it's on main card.
It's a weird
It's
fight to announce though, because neither one has gotten a win in a long time.
Isn't Moicano coming off of?
No, Moicano's
wins?
last win is in 2024, bro. September.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and then let's see. Uh, February 2024. They both only have one win 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, because he lost against Islam and then lost against Benil.
So it's like this is a really really weird fight to announce like it's some big deal. It's like
It is. I thought
you,
it. I didn't even think about it like that.
this is a almost was and a never fucking had a chance. Almost was versus a never had a chance. They both had title shots. I guess that's why. But like the never had a chance got a title shot on last minute notice because somebody else fell out. And T City, he almost
He earned
was.
it.
Almost, but he never did it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and now he just hasn't looked good. I really think the downhill of T City was that chick. When he started fucking with that chick, it fucked up his whole goddamn. Ever since then, like I know he divorced her, this and that, or whatever, and everything else, or whatever. But ever since he got with that chick, he's fought differently. Like the just not as intense.
Yeah.
What was the fight? Was it Diego Sanchez? I mean Lopez?
That was the
No.
one at Noche. Who do
Oh
you
my
fight before
God!
that?
Hold on. You know who I started confusing him with for a second?
Who's
Because
that?
I was thinking like, when did he turtle up real bad and act like a bitch? That was Kevin Lee. I don't know why I confused the two, but I put his face in Kevin Lee's turtled body for that one fight.
No, that's the one thing I will give Ortega is that he's not one to quit. Like
No, yeah, never.
never. He's got that. Like we were talking about earlier, that Nate Landwehr, that Darren Elkins kind of spirit.
Yeah, he's really proud of his Mexican heritage, and he tries to pride himself on having that Mexican fighter vibe or mentality in there.
Yeah, dude. Remember the Lopez fight? He was pretty much going off of the I'm Mexican. I'm the real Mexican. I'm gonna come in and show that fighting spirit.
You remember when he
And then he
came in
got
and
beat
was
by the
acting like a gang member and shit at one point? He was trying to act like he had like gang ties in Cali or whatever, wherever the fuck
Yeah.
he's from. He was like, okay, cool, man. You're a gangster. And you go out there
Yep.
get your ass whipped. Yeah,
He's trying.
he honestly looked like a world beater. He looked like a champ against Korean Zombie. And Korean Zombie is called Korean Zombie for a reason because he can take an ass whipping. And that he did that night. He took a fucking ass whipping.
Yeah, but even with Korean Zombie, dude, like don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for Korean Zombie and I really do like him as a fighter, but he was never seen as a world beater. He was never seen as this holy shit, he's the next big star. People just liked watching him fight because he got his ass whooped and sometimes comes back enough to, swing a few hands their way. Look at not Pereira. Yair Rodriguez fight, one of the best fights of all time, but it would have been forgot about if that elbow never knocked out TKZ.
I don't know about that, but um, right after the Yair fight, this is how it was. He beat Moicano in the first round in 58 seconds, and then he beat Frankie. This is Korean Zombie. Then he beat Frankie Edgar. This is in 2019. This is like when I was real heavy, so I remember this shit pretty well. But I'm also looking at the fucking thing. But anyway, but I remember. Then he beat Frankie Edgar first round knockout. Then it was Ortega versus Korean Zombie. The next person gets the championship fucking fight. So yeah, this is when Korean Zombie was deserving of a contendership match. This was Ortega versus champion Chan Sung Jung for the fucking contender spot. That's when Ortega went and oh, never mind. Oh yeah, no, I fucked up. No, I didn't fuck up, but I thought I fucked up when I looked over because I saw some bullshit. But yeah, Ortega went and fought fucking the champ. What's his name? Volkanovski. Had Korean Zombie won, he would have fought Volkanovski that next fight. So yeah, this was supposed to be the top of the division versus the top of the division, and he fucking did way better in the area that nobody expected him to do good. They thought if it goes to the ground, probably Ortega takes it. No one expected him to out kickbox and beat the fuck out of him. He beat the fuck out of him. I'm telling you, it's enough to where it's like it's his best performance. It's one of the best performances in the fucking fights. Not saying it of all time, but like it's a notable performance. One of the more shocking outcomes or shocking performances.
Yeah.
No one
I don't know. Maybe I don't give enough credit to TKZ, but in my head and the way I remember just kind of watching his career play out, I never thought. Like, I'm sure going into that Ortega fight, I probably had Ortega winning that fight. TKZ fought Volk, right? Like down the road again, and then Volk whooped his ass.
Yeah, he fought Volk after. Yeah, he fought Danny after Ortega. He fought Danny Gay, won, and then he fought Volkanovski, lost. Then he fought Max Holloway and lost, and then he retired.
Yeah, and like I think Korean Zombie got the opportunities he was given because he was a fan favorite, not necessarily because he was one of the best in the division. I think people wanted to see him at the top, so the UFC were kind of like, all right, we'll give you that shot because people are calling for it, not because he had, amazing, dominating people performances kind of thing.
But you're wrong. Just because
Maybe.
there's no way that you actually know his resume and how good it is. And you say that.
Far back, no. Not
and you
far
say
back,
that.
no.
That's the craziest thing is he was from the old school, and then like a lot of people know, he had to do military service, came back and was 10 times better. But like he fought the likes of fucking Leonard Garcia, if you know who that is.
Oh shit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's from he's fighting in the UFC since fucking, let's see. What was his first UFC debut? Oh, that was WEC. Yeah, okay, so he started out on WEC. You remember the WEC days? I mean, you at least know of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in 2011, he got his first match, and it was against Leonard Garcia. And he landed the submission in his debut at UFC. Landed the twister against Leonard Garcia, who had previously beaten him in WEC. So it's like
I remember the twister.
You come in and doing shit like that. Then he beat fucking Mark Hominick, who you know of and might have trained with, I think, at one point. I mean, Mark Hominick at the time in 2011 was big shit to be knocking out. You're never going to believe this one. He's got a 4th round technical submission against Dustin Diamond Poirier. You understand?
Is that at 45? Or is that at 55?
It doesn't matter. You can't disrespect my man by saying that he don't have the names or whatever you want to call it, the wins to really deserve a title shot. You got to win against Dustin Poirier. You're a fucking world beater. Just got to say that.
I mean, would you consider Conor a world beater then?
100%. I think he could fucking knock out most people in the world. 1-on-1, he's got a good chance against most people. Your average person, yeah.
Yeah, no, fair.
Korean Zombie, yeah. I think that he could probably
Alright.
beat a lot of motherfuckers. Right
I
now,
gotta put more
no.
respect on Korean Zombie's name. I didn't know it ran that deep, bro. I didn't. So my first kind of run-in with TKZ was after the military service because I remember Rogan talking about him coming back and like looking really good coming back. Was that the Yair fight?
Anyone he's lost to, other than Yair and Ortega. Never mind. Let me stop saying "and" because I forgot early in his career he's got L's. But most of the people he's lost to are like champs or champion status type motherfuckers. Like Ortega's close enough to be a champ. Yair's kind of been teetering with championship. You already know Alex and fucking. He lost to Jose Aldo. Anybody else isn't real notable, but it's like two other people. Fucking. I mean, obviously Leonard Garcia. It's not notable. And fucking George Roop, if you remember him, but I don't know. I know fucking Tuckleberry Finn would know him, but maybe two other people in this motherfucker would know. Do you know George Roop? You remember him?
No, I have no clue. Name doesn't sound familiar.
I'm pretty sure he was in the Ultimate Fighter. He's like, he was fighting like 145, and he's like 7'2". Let's see, how tall is he? Oh, he's 6'1". But
that's still big for 45 though.
Yeah, his last couple fights were at 185. No, he's Arizonan. I'm surprised you don't remember George Roop. Yeah, he had some like front kick finishes or something that was kind of crazy in the UFC. There was something about his kicks. Like he had really good like straight front kicks. I think. I never liked him that much. Ricky would know him real well too. Ricky would like Roop, just for fun.
I think he was probably before my Die Hard time.
Yeah, he lost to like fucking Eddie Wineland, dog. Dude, why is this guy? He fought Eddie Wineland and he fights at 185 now. Like the fuck? Eddie Wineland fights at like 135, right? Like.
Yeah. When he got knocked out by O'Malley, it was at 35.
You want to talk about weight bully? It was this motherfucker at 6'1" fighting at like fighting against 135, 145ers. Well, other than that, I think it's time to wrap up. Unless you got some more for me, I don't want to drag this out. I know that sometimes we do that because it's just fun to fucking talk this MMA shit.
No, I got nothing more on my what ifs. It's like I said earlier, it's been a slow week, so it was not hard to get into the mood to do the podcast. It was just the content wasn't there for me this week to kind of look into it and go heavy.
The hype wasn't there.
Yeah.
And, we tried to hype it up a little bit, but we kind of kept it real with y'all. And Rampage, I should have known you were the one that was gonna back me up. I often fucking tell myself every time you fucking back me up like this, I'm like, yeah, Rampage is that motherfucker too. That's from the same time zone as me. Me and Rampage is about the same age. Not only do we have the Maryland connection, but we have the fucking age connection. He's right around my age. But
bro, y'all might have been like,
oh, go ahead.
No, just some bullshit. You and Rampage at some point in time might have been in the same like Buffalo Wild Wings or something, watching the fights, and y'all wouldn't even know.
Well, the problem is, well, not the problem, but the whole thing with that is he doesn't exactly live in Baltimore. He knows of Baltimore. He knows some area, like he knows the area as well, probably because he's worked or had fun out here. But he doesn't exactly stay in my area. Like I would have to take the bridge. Well, not the bridge anymore because that bridge collapsed. But just to get to where he's at, I'd have to take a tunnel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, he doesn't live that close, but. So it's not likely we would have ended up at the same Buffalo Wild Wings. But maybe one day.
It's more likely.
Maybe one day I'll let him buy me a fucking drink. You may have accidentally peed on him in a urinal and didn't even know it. All right, yo. Well, we can continue this on in Discord. We'll be hopping back in the main Smoke Sesh Discord if you guys want to be there. We'll be watching the fights there tomorrow night. You're welcome to join
Hell yeah.
the watch party with us. But yeah, other than that, we'll see you maybe next Friday. I'll keep you all posted on Discord because there's not many fights coming on that we might have a delay for a week or two, depending. Like it really depends. I haven't looked at it enough to really make a decision. But as always, you stay connected on Discord.
Hell yeah.
Wherever you're watching, if you ain't following or subbed or whatever the fuck it is, make sure you do all that to stay connected with us.